Okay, Olga, do you want to get started?
Yes, I'm still admitting some people to the room, but I think more participants are going to join us as we go along. So I think we can start now.
Great. Hi, I'm Richard Luftig from Castle Placement. Welcome to Capital 8. We're extremely excited for you to join us for this competition. At Castle Placement, we absolutely love doing these capital competitions. We're doing this one in conjunction with the Startup Club, and we could not be more honored to work with such a terrific organization. The competition will have 11 companies, which will each present for a couple of minutes. And then our judges will select the final four. The final four will make a 3-minute presentation followed by a 5-minute Q&A. That's for each company. And then the judges will select the winner. We absolutely love doing these competitions because inevitably we find companies that are innovative and smart and interesting, and it's always invigorating to us to see these great companies and watch them present, and it's always a lot of fun, and we always meet a bunch of great people, and I suspect that will be the case here. Just one moment about Castle Placement. For those of you who don't know us, we're an investment bank. We were established in 2009. We have 27 investment bankers located in the United States and around the world. We do one thing, which is raise capital for private companies, both equity and debt. We've been quite successful. We've raised billions of dollars for our clients over the years. And I think that our competitive advantage is that we use data and technology in pretty robust manner to match our clients with the right investors. I'd like to introduce the judges and then get started with the competition. By the way, you guys are in good company. We've done 7 of these competitions before, thus the name Capital 8, and we've done them with WeWork and LinkedIn and Amazon, the City University of New York, the University of Michigan 3 times, and most recently Columbia University. So I'd like to thank our judges for volunteering their time. It's an incredibly impressive squad of people, starting with Sim Siegel. He's the president and founder of Sim Energy Consulting, a consulting firm specializing exclusively in enterprise risk management for companies in all sectors. They help organizations implement or advance their ERM programs. He's the founder and academic director of the MS in Enterprise Risk Management program at Columbia University, which is the #1 such program globally. He's one of 40 ERM experts awarded the CERA for thought leadership and significant contributions to advance the practice of ERM. He's a fellow of the Society of Actuaries, chartered enterprise risk analyst, and graduated from Wayne State University. Dr. Eric Fretz is a faculty lecturer at the University of Michigan. He created and teaches the core course for the #1 ranked entrepreneurship minor. He is a retired Navy officer. Thank you, Eric. He runs several small businesses and nonprofits that care for veterans. Thank you again, Eric. He is also appointed as the Michigan State Director for the Selective Service System and consults internationally in entrepreneurship through the William Davidson Institute. Peter Locke is my old and dear friend. He's a principal at Spectrum Group Management, an alternative asset management firm that focuses on event-driven investing in the distressed, special situations, and asset-based credit markets. He holds a BS from Cornell University and an MBA from Columbia Business School. Aaron Ford, who's also an old and dear friend, is an angel investor and founder of Ford Capital, a venture capital firm that funds and advises startups and early stage companies, leading to several public liquidity events, which means he made a lot of money. He has worked with the earliest stage companies in the newest emerging industries, something he calls Startup Squared. He is a Columbia University alumnus and graduated as valedictorian from Columbia Business School. Chris Hibachi is a new friend and is founding partner and general partner at Charge Ventures. It's a New York-based early stage venture capital fund. Prior to founding Charge, Chris has been a serial entrepreneur and co-founded companies in ad tech, hospitality, sustainability, and social gaming. He holds an MBA from the University of San Francisco. So can't thank you enough to the judges, and I'm sure that the contestants and the viewers are very appreciative of your efforts today. So now we'll start by playing, we'll start by the presentation from Pitos.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nick Desai. I'm the CEO and founder of Pitos brand. Pitos is the one and only junk food style snack made from peas. Pitos is disrupting the $20 billion market for corn-based salty fried snacks dominated by Doritos, Cheetos, Funyuns, and Fritos. And we're basically bringing the market category size of junk food snacks and combining that with the growth rates of better for you snacks. Today's market has a problem. The junk food style snacks taste great but have poor nutrition, whereas the better for you snacks taste horrible but have good nutrition. We want to create a world of snacks that has both. We do that by taking the underlying corn base and replacing it with peas and lentils, removing the artificial colors and flavors, replacing them with natural ones. Pitos are well designed for a post-pandemic world and everyone is looking for comfort food style snacks. We have significantly higher nutrition profile and more good stuff and less bad stuff, higher protein, higher fiber, less fat, less calories. We are in over 4,000 stores nationwide, and in less than 2 years, we've gained distribution in marquee retailers like Kroger and Safeway. We're creating an entire platform of better for you style snacks. Our e-commerce sales have been crushing it in the last several months, growing at over 50–60% monthly. We have amazing and incredible feedback from moms who tell us that our snacks taste better than Cheetos, taste better than Funyuns. We have a team that has been there and done this before. We've actually successfully built and sold one snack food company already. Our sales last year were about $3.6 million, but we'll hit about $5 million this year. I'm on track to hit about $15 million next year. So we have massive growth ahead and launching in stores like Costco coming up here. And we're offering a $5 to $8 million Series A preferred round. We need about $8 million in total to get to profitability. I look forward to talking to you more about this. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. That was a really terrific presentation. We appreciate it. The next company that will be presenting is Hale.
Hi, I'm Bruce Marcus, CMO of Hale, a soon-to-be new competitor in the $50 billion and growing ride-hailing industry. The company is Houston-based. That's where we'll begin our operations, and then we'll expand nationally. Let's first address the elephants in the kitchen. We've been on track since last fall to start in Q1 or Q2 of this year. Fortunately, the entrepreneurial gods were looking down on us. A few of us were consulting with a similar company in Singapore, and we were quick to pick up on COVID-19, and we held up our money raise. We did not fully realize the unique position in which Hale would find itself. Safety and service were always going to be our main positioning. For the foreseeable future, there won't be anyone requesting a ride who won't be thinking, do I trust this company? Is this car safe? As you know, both Uber and Lyft have had serious problems in both of these areas. The world has slowed down. providing Hale with time to not only execute its startup preparation, but time its Houston market entry to a rebounding economy. We get to build a profitable foundation for business while our two main competitors are bleeding cash, tearing down their overbuilt infrastructure and continuing to disappoint their drivers. Hale now gets to launch with the right message at the perfect time. At the macro level, national consumer services have always had similar market development. There are usually one or two early entrants creating or reacting to a consumer need. Think AT&T, United Airlines, Hilton, or Greyhound, followed by a second wave of entrants who are better positioned to address specific consumer needs or the failures of the early entrants. Think JetBlue, T-Mobile, GoBuses. Hale is ideally positioned to be one of those highly successful new competitors and will not only capture an impressive market share, but will attract millions of new ride-hailing customers. A unique business opportunity has presented itself in a market that will now crave safety and demand better management. And we are on the scene. I look forward to speaking to you about marketing and profitability, the two main features that will separate Hale from its competitors.
That was terrific. We've spent the better part of 2 months talking to our clients about pivoting during this global crisis, and that's a perfect example. The next company presenting is Chapter 7 Solutions.
Hello, my name is Michael Crane. I'm based in Dallas, Texas, and for the last 17 years, my sole business activity has been liquidating Chapter 7 bankruptcy estates for trustees across the country. The primary asset that's been liquidated has been real property, both residential and commercial. And in the process, I've learned an enormous amount about how bankruptcy, specifically Chapter 7, affects mortgages and the liens that result from those debts being discharged. The purpose of this video is to introduce myself and to explain phase 1, which is to acquire some of these Chapter 7 liens from the secured creditors, whether it be a bank or a mortgage servicer. Phase 1 is to acquire these liens, dispose of them properly, and then take that data and expand on that with a much larger funding effort of up to $25 to $40 million so that these liens can be acquired in much larger numbers, which will result in very healthy returns to investors. So phase 1, for anyone that has any interest in this investment, we would like to find a servicer or a bank that would sell us between 5 and 10 of these bankruptcy liens so that we can properly administer them, compile the data, and then take this to phase 2. Thank you.
Thank you. Obviously, that's a business that may very well benefit from the economic crisis that we're all experiencing. Our next company presenting is Engine Systems Innovation.
My name is Steve Arnold, the founder of ESI. Prior to starting ESI, I took several of my ideas from a thought to high volume production and generated around $4 billion of revenue for my employer. So I started ESI in 2008, developing new technologies and doing consulting to fund their development. I'm here to talk about one of ESI's amazing technologies, the continuously variable displacement engine. The prototype you see pictured here was the product of a DOE SBIR grant. And yes, the CVD was built and demonstrated to work. The grant was not large enough to design, build, and test a full engine, but as a compressor, it focused on the key technology, the variable stroke, variable compression ratio drive mechanism. The CVD's mission is to improve the efficiency of engines at part load, where most engines typically operate. The market for the CVD drive is virtually any engine that does not run at full load most of the time. Automobiles, pickups, medium-duty and heavy-duty trucks, buses, gensets, industrial engines, construction, and ag. The CVD can be developed as a gasoline, natural gas, or diesel engine. There are currently about 200 million engines produced each year, which equates to a $2 trillion target market. Virtually all are candidates for the CVD drive, but we will choose one fuel, one displacement, and focus on getting one through production launch. Since internal combustion engines consume our precious fossil fuel and spit out harmful emissions, including the greenhouse gas carbon dioxide, there is a global need for much more efficient engines. Engine costs are skyrocketing as engine manufacturers struggle to improve the efficiency and add a myriad of expensive add-on technologies. The business model is to license the technology to OEMs and co-develop with each. As a licensor, the operating costs will be very low and there will be very little capital required. The entry ticket to be considered for licensing is a running engine that successfully demonstrates the key attributes of performance, fuel economy, emissions, and manufacturing cost. And this is the investment that is needed to convert the compressor to a full running engine.
Well, thank you so much. As the judges on American Idol would say, we've got ourselves a competition. Our next company presenting is Rational Intuitive.
Welcome to Rise 2, the future energy. We have earned 5 years to make a fortune on energy. We are seeking 2 or more aggressive investors to join us in this journey. We outsource via the 3-pronged partner approach to each country. In each company, we thereby link up operationally at 3 levels. Our business plan secures plenty of controls. We have had sensors out into the supply chain, and we combine disruptive and conservative business models to make money. We are asking for $500,000 in CapEx for each country and $1.6 million in OpEx for our headquarters located in Kenya, Nairobi. The investment window is planned to open by June, July, and we have prepared some green numbers from the world of reality for your perusal. Rise 2 is 3 times cheaper than fossil and 35 times cheaper than nuclear. Rise 2 has industrial durability in the stainless steel version. Rise 2 is 10 times cheaper than PV and 8 times cheaper than nuclear in sheer power value. The top reason why we do this is 100% ROI per year, which is unprecedented. This slide gets a bit more into depth with some of the key figures.
Thank you. One of the positive ramifications of the pandemic is these type of Zoom video calls, and I personally believe people from all over the world are communicating with each other much more frequently and more intimately, and that I think is great for the world and great for private capital markets. So that's a great example. The next company that's presenting is Oxygen Orchard.
Hi, I'm Terry Mathis, president of Oxygen Orchard, Inc., and this is the big picture. My husband and I invented this, and we've spent thousands of man-hours bringing it from concept to this appliance that you see here. What you're also seeing is the laws of physics in action. As these rise through the water column, transferring oxygen into the water, and this is the oxygen that you and I are breathing, O2. When I pour a glass of water and drink it, I'm actually drinking water that is up to 98% saturated with oxygen. Very beneficial. We're having our custom parts made in Houston now, Houston, Texas. They're beautiful. They're 40 miles down the road, so we save a lot of money in warehousing because now we're just in time manufacturing. The product is now bulletproof at the time, very dependable, won't fail. Customers love it. The materials almost every day. This product has literally changed lives. And then the virus hit. We are covered up with orders. The takeaway is that the American consumer is starting to get it. Oxygen equals immunity, and it really, how do we know? I've been working with water and oxygen for over 30 years, and specifically oxygen-infused drinking water for 20 years. My research is extensive, and I'm what you might call the expert. The profit margins are big, 82% on the retail side, 64% on the wholesale side. This product and this business check a lot of boxes: disruptive in the functional water industry, emerging technology, low risk, very high reward. We encourage you to look at our website, oxygenorchard.com. Check it out. You'll learn more about the product, about my husband Lee and me, and about the business and the industry that we've pretty much created. So thank you for listening. Cheers.
Thank you. Unfortunately, they will not be providing samples. The next company presenting is GT Digital.
Hello, my name is Gary Olson, and I'm the CEO, founder, and technical designer of GT Digital and our flagship Media Maestro. The world has become a more dangerous place. The number of horrific, hostile, and violent attacks are on everybody's mind all the time. Security experts are struggling to find ways to prevent these events. No human analyst can keep up with all the digital information that's available on every digital platform accessible to every person committing these attacks. Media Maestro curates, integrates, orchestrates, and correlates video, data, and media from all the available sources. We are the first. Connecting the dots. Cognitive intelligence connects the dots to identify these threats before they happen and inform the professional. Recognition, searching, and data mining is not analysis. Correlation is analysis. This is a $50 billion global market. Current products in the marketplace are not analyzing. Security vendors in the market do not have this technology. We are a powerful team of experienced business executives, technology architects, and a development team with deep proven AI success and award-winning video handling. Our proof of concept has been demonstrated quite successfully, and the company is planning to complete our initial product development in 2020. We have committed initial customers for Q1 2021. We are actively pursuing strategic partners and to contract lead customers to help accelerate our launch. My name is Gary Olson. I'm the CEO of GT Digital and look forward to hearing from you.
That was a terrific yet terrifying presentation. Much appreciated. The next company up is Chava Wind.
Today we're going to introduce a very new product, which is an innovative new vertical access wind turbine. People deploy those products close to the point of usage at schools, at warehouses, and small communities.
From the very first beginning, I thought these guys are inventing something which could change the world.
And now through different manufacturing techniques and materials processes, we have the ability to take an idea that was good on its surface 50 years ago and now take it and innovate it and turn it into something else.
So we definitely wanted to incorporate a very simple design, using the latest technology to make it efficient, make it easy to maintain. We use a lot of standard materials in the market. We outfitted our mast with a tilt system that comes down. A single guy with a pickup truck can come out and maintain his wind turbine. There's people that need power that can't get power, and I believe that this turbine can really fit that mold perfectly. It's small, reliable, but it works and it looks nice and people can get close to it. And so we're closer to people by nature. That means it has to be something people like. People don't want to put anything on their backyard if they don't like it. We developed a project people are raving about. Everybody who sees our wind turbine wants one, basically. And that's a product, it's not just aesthetically pleasing, so people want it, but it's also functional and solidly engineered.
They have a good concept, they have good people, they are good and well-experienced businessmen, and that is, from our point of view, the most important issue to become a successful story for this project.
I mean, when I look at a wind turbine spinning, I see freedom.
We're going to be a pioneer with a vertical axis wind turbine in this class being internationally certified, and we can basically go to any country in the world with that certification. We're extremely happy with the outcome, especially with all the people's feedback who come out raving whenever they see our product.
And therefore, I'm very proud to be part of that team, and very much hope that we will bring that to a great, great success for all of us on this planet.
Thanks for that. One of the best parts about working at Castle Placement is every day we see these brilliant people with terrific new ideas, and every day is a huge learning experience for us. So this is just another day. Thank you, Chava Wind. Our next company presenting is Mango Bahia.
Welcome to Mango Bahia. Welcome to the future of sustainability. Mango Bahia aims to be the world's very first sustainably designed, technology-driven company. We're building an ecosystem of products, services comprising of delivery points, vertical farming, and an eco-friendly marketplace, mangoair.com. Delivery points consist of healthy fast food, affordable menus with prices competitive to major fast food brands. Our vertical farming sector has established a partnership with stakeholders in the city of East St. Louis for economic development for 2 Mango Bahia facilities totaling $250 million. Mango Bahia Vertical Farm, Bahia Processing Plant, and we have support letters from local and state government. Eco-friendly marketplace, we only invite organic and sustainable producers to become sellers on our platform. Mango is to be an asset-backed token. Mango blockchain's decentralized applications will allow investors, food producers, and restaurant franchisees to interact on a peer-to-peer
You don't
basis.
see the video, guys. The video's not playing.
In the vegan, vegetarian, food, and sustainable lifestyle marketplace, all while saving money for consumers and franchisees and earning returns for investors. We're seeking one or more investors for a round of.
Okay, I'm really sorry about that. Are you able to see the screen? Just a second. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, yes, yes. We can.
We can see the screen now.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Okay, let's start over.
Welcome to Mango Bahia. Welcome to the future of sustainability.
It's again no picture.
Mango Bahia aims to be the world's very first sustainably designed, technology-driven company. We're building an ecosystem of products, services comprising of delivery points, vertical farming, and an eco-friendly marketplace, mangoair.com. Delivery points consist of healthy fast food, affordable menus with prices competitive to major fast food brands. Our vertical farming sector has established a partnership with stakeholders in the city of East St. Louis for economic development for 2 Mango Bahia facilities totaling $250 million. Mango Bahia Vertical Farm, Bahia Processing Plant, and we have support letters from local and state government.
The screen is still frozen.
Eco-friendly marketplace, we only invite organic and sustainable producers to become sellers on our platform. Mango is to be an asset-backed token. Mango blockchain's decentralized applications will allow investors, food producers, and restaurant franchisees to interact on a peer-to-peer basis, reducing or eliminating inefficiencies in the vegan, vegetarian, food, and sustainable lifestyle marketplace, all while saving money for consumers and franchisees and earning returns for investors. We're seeking one or more aggressive investors for a round of 8.75 million. Business plans including projections and performance available upon request. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes my presentation. Thank you for your time.
Okay, well, I'm really sorry for the technical issues that we had. Unfortunately, there appears to be a little bug with the video, but hopefully you're all able to hear the presentation, and hopefully we can hear more about them afterwards. Richard, you can go ahead and continue.
No problem. The technical difficulties did not prevent us from seeing the merits of the company and understanding what they are accomplishing. The next company is iPop Press.
Hi, I'm Patrick O'Brien, the author and publisher of the 11 ebook series, Secrets to Debt Relief. I'd like to share with you just a little bit about my 11 ebook series. Like some of the best series of books out there that have literally sold over 1 billion books, we use one title, Secrets to Debt Relief, which have 11 separate subtitles. I'd like to focus on my first book in this video. The subtitle is Reduce the Principal Balance of Your Car or Truck Loan in 5 Easy Steps. It is the only book ever written on this subject matter anywhere. I actually followed these exact 5 steps on my own car and had the principal balance reduced by $16,000, which brought my car payment down from $654 a month to $181.98. That's only part of the reason why I'm so encouraged to write this first book. Today, there are over $1 trillion in automobile loans here in America. Between 2008 and 2018, there was over $100 billion worth of car and truck payments made delinquent. And that's where Secrets to Debt Relief comes in. I'm seeking investors who would like to be a partner with me and be part of a true pre-IPO launch. We're going to be selling our books online, not only here in America, but in an additional 25 countries around the world. I would personally like to speak with you. Please call me at 760-477-7377. Click here for more information. I'm looking forward to meeting you. And once again, I thank you very much for your time.
I'm hoping that none of the participants in this session will be needing that service, but given the economic dislocation, I'm sure many people, unfortunately, will be requiring that service. The last company presenting is Valerie's Restaurant.
Hi investors, my name is Valerie Bendish, and today I'm here to introduce you to my company, Valerie's, the first plant-based drive-through with a smart menu. And by the way, it's vegan. We are seeking a $1 million investment with a 10% return in 3 years and a 1% royalty for 10 years when we franchise. The current and upcoming generations are committed to their health and mindful spending, yet there are no drive-thrus on the market today that are delivering healthy, delicious, and affordable meals on the go. The numbers speak for themselves. With a $4.5 billion plant-based market in the United States, the wellness wave is up and we are happy to deliver. Valerie's would be the first plant-based QSR, allowing us to fill the demand for how, when, and where to find healthy meals at convenience, supported by food science. Now more than ever, food is essential and drive-thrus are open for business. Safety is primary, and therefore, during COVID-19, we will provide contactless carryout for pickup, delivery, and drive-thru for immediate return on investment. Our application allows for a customizable menu based on lifestyle goals. With scan-in capabilities at our drive-thru kiosk, we are solving a 15-year obstacle in drive-thru efficiency and the health epidemic. The scope of opportunity is in our mega revenue streams with franchising and in-application orders for large scope scale. Think McDonald's meets Domino's Delivery, only wellness forward. With fundraising from the global startup ecosystem, bValue has generated the application prototype. This will save approximately $5,000 per month just for development. Did we mention our game-changing team? We have an advisory board with internationally renowned experts in the plant-based nutrition and wellness industry that endorse bValue's. Thank you for your time and consideration, bValue's, and I would like to close by sharing clean eating really is a cash cow. And by the way, it's vegan.
I love that slogan. Clean
I love it.
Yeah.
It's cash cow. I love it.
Okay, so those are all of the presentations from the 11 contestants. And I'm sure anyone who is not a judge is very happy that they don't have to select only 4 from that field of 11. But for you judges, that's why you're paid the big bucks. And if you could please email me your selection for the final 4, I will tally up the votes. And while we're doing that, we're going to play a little informational video about the Startup Club.
Thank you, Richard. And thank you so much for to all startups for your presentations. My name is Olga and I'm the CEO of Startup Club. We are co-hosting this event with Castle Placement and we're really thrilled to be doing this. So to introduce the Startup Club, I would like to play a little introductional video for you. Hopefully that gave you a little bit an idea of who we are and what we do. Actually, since the video was recorded in the beginning of this year, we have grown to a community of 50,000 members worldwide, and we entered several countries. So we're now present in 15 different countries, which is really exciting. And we are really thrilled to grow by doing events like this, by collaborating with companies like Castle Placement, and introducing new startups and new investors to our ecosystem. So thank you so much to all of you for participating and for being part of the Startup Club. I'm going to pass the word back to Richard.
Sure, I'm just waiting for 2 of the judges to submit their final 4. It does not at all surprise me that it's going to take them a few minutes to make a decision like that. I'd also like to make a comment that we see presentations every day, all day, and the presentations today were really outstanding. I think that it's a huge benefit to be forced to make a presentation in a short time frame. I think that many firms that are raising capital would be well advised to be forced to make their presentation in 2 minutes. And perhaps depending on what the setting is for the investor presentation, maybe expand on that, but certainly a great practice to be forced to do it in such a short time frame. Okay, we have our last 2 judges. I'm not trying to add to the suspense. Okay. So, not surprisingly, there were 6 judges, including myself, and all 11 contestants received votes. But the final 4 are Chapter 7 Solutions, Engine Systems Innovation, GT Digital, and Chava Wind. So the next phase of the competition, those 4 finalists will present for 3 minutes each. And then after each 3-minute video, the judges will do Q&A for approximately 5 minutes. And then we will select the winner. So, Olga, if you're ready, we can start with the presentation from Chapter 7 Solutions.
Hello. In the first video, I explained that phase 1 would be to acquire 5 to 10 of these Chapter 7 bankruptcy liens, dispose of those properly, and then compile that data to then be used to show a much larger group of investors how we can raise $25 to $40 million to acquire these liens across the United States in a variety of geographic regions and markets. An example of how one of these liens might work is going to be shown in a slide that I'm going to allow. Please pause the video. A slide will be here in just a moment. Review that, and we'll come back in just a moment. Welcome back. The numbers shown in the slide are certainly hypothetical, but should be close to what we can expect on most of the liens that we acquire. One of the steps in doing our due diligence on these properties is to actually send a home inspector to the property in order to determine what needs to be done, what the real value of the collateral might be, what might be required to maintain or bring it up to grade, and then determine what our costs really are based on the acquisition costs, any fix-up, maintenance, and insurance. Once all those factors are calculated, we will know what we would obviously need to sell it for to achieve the returns that we're looking for. So anyone that's interested in further information, please contact me at MD, that's Michael David, MD _ Crane, CRANE, at sbcglobal.net. Thank you.
Great. So if one of the judges would like to ask Michael a question.
The slide went up so fast I couldn't see the numbers. Can you just go over them again? Richard, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm wondering if Michael can hear you. Michael, you may be on mute.
Richard, if I could add a question outside the slides, I certainly have the same comment as Peter, but a question beyond the slides is what experience do they have doing this prior?
Okay, what I'm going to suggest is that we jump to the next contestant because it seems like Michael is not available to answer the judges' questions at this moment. So let's move on, Olga, to Engine Systems Innovation, please.
Yes, just a second. I messaged Michael quickly to tell him that we are ready for his Q&A after the next video. And there you go, Engine Systems and Innovations.
Hi, Steve Arnold again. Picking up where we left off, the CVD engine improves fuel efficiency. The competition will be electrical vehicles, both battery electric and hybrid electric, and increasingly expensive and complex internal combustion engines. We need electrical vehicles, and I'm a fan of Tesla's amazing products. Wood Mackenzie forecasts that in 2040, electric vehicles will reach over 45% market share in light duty and about 10% share in medium and heavy duty. I hope they can exceed these forecasts. However, there are risk factors associated with moving the majority of our mobility to an electrical energy source. Many think that renewable sources can pick up the additional load, but even now, Germany and Japan are building new coal-fired plants to alleviate the shutdown of nuclear plants, and the U.S. is ramping up work on new advanced nuclear plants. And the inconsistency of solar and wind mean that full generating capacity needs to be in place to provide reliable electricity. These problems will undoubtedly be solved by our collective innovation. While we can hope for solutions, we need to plan alternative outcomes. As we saw, in 2040, 55% of passenger cars and 90% of commercial vehicles will be internal combustion engines. It is incumbent on us to make these engines as efficient and as affordable as possible. The CVD will be a paradigm shift. Better efficiency, simpler technology, and lower manufacturing cost. The red X's on this chart are technologies that reduce part load losses exactly as the CVD does, but the CVD does it more completely and at lower cost, so they become superfluous. Eliminating them and replacing with the CVD results in higher efficiency and lower cost. For technology to be successful in the marketplace, it must have a useful value proposition for both customers and investors. Increasingly, we need to make sure that the environment has a stake at the table as well. I'm not sure what could be a better value proposition for an engine than higher efficiency and lower manufacturing cost. To get an OEM on board is a simple but difficult process. You must show them that your technology does what you claim. It's like they're all from Missouri. The difficult part has been done. The CVD mechanism design, analysis and simulation, prototype build, and functional test are complete. The innovation and validation are behind us. Now it needs to be dressed out as an engine and validated through testing. This is a lot of work, but it is straightforward engineering and will take no more than $10 million in 30 months. I've covered a lot of ground and there's a lot more information on the slides than what I've talked about. I also focus on gasoline engines, but the CVD is perfect for natural gas. It also provides a slightly lower benefit for diesel engines. Natural gas would be an excellent target fuel for the first commercial engine. The fuel has fallen on hard times since traditional engine designs suffer from low efficiency and are often too expensive as they are converted from diesel engines. The CVD could be the enabling technology to rev that market up. The upside of the CVD is massive, but we have one more prerequisite to complete before commercialization. If you are interested in participating in this critical step, let's talk.
All right, let's talk. So do the judges have a question for Engine Systems Innovation?
Do you want me to go first, Richard?
Sure, Chris.
So what I would like to understand is, okay, a few things. You're raising, I think it's $10 million. So I want to understand how you're going to spend that. I want to understand what's your go-to-market and your unit economics. And then it mentions on the last slide that you have background and track record in taking companies from just an idea. You know, you build engine systems in the past. Like, what's your track record? Like, have you built other companies? Have you exited? Or is it just on a patent level? Just curious.
No, I'm an engineer, so I haven't built other companies. I created Engine Systems Innovation, and I've been averaging about $500,000 revenue every year from consulting. And so these technologies that I'm developing have been funded by the consulting work that I've done. But before I started Engine Systems Innovation, I was working for the world's largest turbo manufacturer. I created new ideas, got patents on them, you know, developed those and put them into vehicles. So my employer made about $4 billion on 3 different inventions that I took from kind of a thought to high volume production. So I've been through the process of taking, you know, things to market. You asked about what was going to be, how the money was going to be spent. So there's a lot of people that have tried to do these alternative engines, and they always build these big companies, and they spend 150 to $200 million trying to get to something that works well enough. I think that's the wrong approach. I've gotten the engine design to a point where now I can outsource the rest of it. There's 2 very large German companies that do most engine designs for everybody in the world. You know, Ford or GM doesn't really design engines anymore. They're program managers and they outsource it. So these companies, they do complete automobiles, FEV, AVL. There's a couple of others as well. But they have experts, you know, everything they do is state of the art. So, you know, I've done the unique part of the design. Now I will outsource it to them. And then once we have a running prototype, if it demonstrates what it's supposed to demonstrate, then, you know, the sell is extremely easy.
We have time for one more question for Engine Systems Innovation.
I have a question. It's Aaron Ford here. Steve, thank you. Very, very interesting. Hearing your presentation, it sounded as though you recognize there's the shift towards the battery-powered world, but that eventually that will be a strain on the system. And my knee-jerk reaction to that was, is there a timing issue here where clients and the market, the macro market, don't quite appreciate the value that your product might present to them 10 years, 20 years down the road, and is it too early?
Well, yeah, I don't think it's too early, but yeah, I mean, the focus right now is that electric vehicles are going to solve everybody's problems for transportation. You know, particularly the U.S. government is totally focused on that. So they certainly are going to play a huge role. And but you know, if you look at it right now, the renewable energy is not coming on fast enough, and it's not 24/7. It's very spotty, you know, when the sun shines or whatever. So you know, that you have to provide that generating capacity, you know, 24/7, 365 days a year. So there's going to be a lot of issues. And, you know, quite frankly, unless you get renewable resources to generate the electricity, the electric vehicles really aren't that super CO2 efficient. You know, if you're using coal-fired plants or something like that, then, you know, it's really not a good issue. But no matter what, still there's going to be about 50% or more market share 20 years from now with internal combustion engines. And if you start looking at, you know, commercial vehicle and, you know, big trucks and stuff like that, it's still going to be about 90%. So there's still a huge market out there. And this is the best way to improve the efficiency of engines. You know, there's so many programs that look at raising the peak efficiency of an engine, but you never really run there. You know, what you need is an efficient engine where you are driving. And, you know, with an automobile, you may have 250 horsepower, but you seldom use more than 25. So, you know, the efficiency at 200 horsepower is really irrelevant because you never spend any time there. You've got to improve the efficiency where you're actually using the engine.
Terrific. Thank you so much for the presentation and the insightful answers. The next presentation will come from GT Digital.
Thank you for inviting me back. My name is Gary Olson. I'm the CEO, founder, and technical designer of GT Digital. Too much information, too many different places to post information. The people doing terrible things use all the digital platforms that they access to tell people that they plan on doing something with horrible intention. Plot prevention is discovering this information and pointing out that there's intention that can stop these attacks before they happen. That's what makes us different. How? Using military-grade cognitive intelligence developed for the US government, we connect the dots. Our software model is on-premise, cloud, and a plugin working with security vendors. Our market is retail, commercial, educational, houses of worship, public venues that care about their people. Connecting the dots is taking data and video from any source, any type, in any format, correlating and analyzing, and then informing and alerting the human to make the decision. Taking the tedious tasks, the grunt work, and providing new tools to make crucial decisions, not just gathering data. Let the human make the intelligent choices, the intelligent decisions, and initiate the action. What differentiates us? Correlation differentiates us. Recognition, searching, and all these other things only make more data. Correlation pulls it all together. We have a proof of concept that we've shown quite successfully to vendors and to customers anxious to wait for our product. Company is looking to finish its product development in 2020. We have committed customers for pilot testing in Q1 of 2021, and we're developing channel partners and strategic partners to help accelerate our launch. Total market opportunity is over $50 billion. Stores, public venues with a modest financial growth over the course of the next few years. How do our clients benefit? We save lives. We protect property. We save business costs of losses. Businesses lose their reputation, and loss of employees and loss of customers have a severe impact on businesses. Our powerful team of executives have done this before. My name is Gary Olson, and I look forward to hearing from you.
Great. Do the judges have questions for Gary?
Richard, Gary, how does the users afford it? What's the cost to it?
This is a classic software model.
The number of attacks and I forgot the chances of getting hit by lightning are low. Are the chances of, although it's more relative now, the chances of being in a mass shooting are also low. What makes this? What will this cost?
So we're following a classic software model. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. We're following a classic software model. So for companies that have big IT groups and prefer to have an on-premise solution, it's similar to a Microsoft Office product, except we're looking at about $125,000 for a number of seats and a number of instances. The cloud product is under $10,000 a month on an annualized contract. The premise model also has an annualized service agreement in the 22% range, and the plugin cost is still under development. So it's a classic software model, and to your point, it only takes one instance to get on the 11 o'clock news that hurts a business financially. So we're in the relative cost of what they pay for nominal security services. Cloud service means that they don't need a big IT group, and the on-premise is for people that have it.
And do insurance companies have their own versions of this, or you're marketing to them also?
We're marketing to them also. As of less than a month ago, pre-COVID, there is no product on the market that's currently doing this. We're one of a few that are obviously doing it. The correlation aspect of what we're doing is the holy grail of physical security. Nobody's doing it. We're a ground up technology, meaning that we didn't start with an existing technology and try and reinvent it. This comes from scratch based upon all of our backgrounds in understanding how to correlate data, how video works with data, and how cognitive computing works.
You mentioned, Aaron Ford here, you mentioned the proof of concept in your presentation. Could you give us more insight into that?
Well, yes. I mean, right now, there's a proof of concept living in Amazon Web Services Cloud, and it demonstrates in a visual dashboard how we bring together video, data, maps, images all together in a single dashboard. We don't do graphs and charts. We're not trying to burn eyeballs. If it's a video, you see a video. If it's a picture, you see a picture. If it's a map, you see a map. If it's a map overlaying an area, you see the map overlaying an area. If you want to extend that search, our machine learning and deep learning technology allows you to look and then add to the search engine. And in connecting the dots, if there are multiple people on the system, on top of that, a senior advisor or a senior manager will know that the same people look at the same thing and then create a collaborative session. So we can demonstrate that.
I'm sorry, was that a follow-up question?
No, all set. Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you very much to the GT Digital team. And our final four contestant is Chava Wind.
My name is Hagen Rock. I'm the founder and CEO of Chava Wind LLC, a product that will transform the market for clean on-site power generation. I wanted to use this 3-minute presentation to touch on the following key points. What makes this technology unique? Who will be buying it? And last but not least, what business model are we applying to make money with it? Full presentations will be on our website, chavawind.com, in the downloads section. Our product is an answer to current challenges of the traditional large wind industry, which can only operate in large-scale grid feed mode with sufficient transmission capacity to the consumption hubs. They only get compensated on wholesale power pricing, whereas on-site generation with our product reduces energy costs at consumer retail rates, which could be by multiples higher than wholesale. Our product can work with or without the utility grid, large wind. We're basically first innovative vertical axis wind turbine that meets the aesthetic and technological customer demands for an on-site generation product in a global market. As you can imagine, customer demands are different when people have to live or work close to such a unit. And on this slide, you can see an example of our on-site hybrid power generation using solar PV in combination with wind. And on this next slide, you can see key specs. I just wanted to highlight a few things. Turbine is rated and capped at 25 kilowatts maximum power output. The annual energy production is about 60 megawatt hours per year in good wind areas. And it's also designed to hold up to tropical cyclones of up to 175 miles an hour, which is critical for target markets like Caribbean islands with frequent hurricanes, the American Midwest with frequent tornadoes, or Southeast Asia with frequent typhoons. And the total height is about 100 feet. Here's another huge advantage, which is the hydraulic tilt system. No crane is needed for installation or maintenance, hugely reducing ongoing costs. We're basically a technology innovator and do not want to be a manufacturing company. We have distributed the manufacturing process to dozens of suitable companies around the world, but we continue to aggregate the finished product. Distribution, installation, and maintenance, partners who will either buy the product from us through our current component manufacturing partners or they acquire a manufacturing license for certain components to create local jobs. Regarding financials, we have created a bottom-up market analysis and projected sales figures per country. Overall, we're projecting to sell around 200 units in the first year worldwide and grow this number to roughly 160 units per month in year 5, which amounts to about 200 million revenue and an EBITDA of 36 million. In summary, we have developed and certification tested a product that's ready for mass production that will transform the on-site power generation market. We spent around 6.5 million of our own money over almost 7 years, and we're therefore completely free of any external debt. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.
Do the judges have any questions for Chava Wind? Well, I have a question. So I saw that you have an installation with solar. How much of the business plan is for wind and how much of it is for solar?
Hi, Richard. It's Hagen. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So our business plan is just for wind. What we do with solar is just basically install hybrid plants. We would have a solar supplier basically to partner with us. We're not a PV seller. We could just do the integration services with batteries and solar to have a completely grid independent system. But our technology is wind.
And what is a customer comparing it against? In other words, if I put this in, I save.
Right. So correct. So basically the highest ROI is in areas where you have high power costs, like the Caribbean islands that pay over 35 cents a kilowatt hour. Hawaii has the highest in the US with about 40 cents. So the higher the power cost, the shorter is your payback. Depends on the wind. I mean, wind goes in as an exponential function into your annual energy production, which really is your payback. The payback is each kilowatt hour you're producing reduces your retail cost of energy, whereas the big wind turbines, they only feed into the grid and they get discounted wholesale power prices, and then the consumer pays a multiple of that with the transmission and distribution and all that on top of that. So basically the payback is your retail cost of power, and the higher that is, the quicker you get your money back.
So the customer here also might be someone who's looking at putting solar panels on the roof of their warehouse.
Correct. So solar is a main competitor, of course. And if you look at solar, I mean, in the northern climates, solar is not always a viable option. In winter, you have very little. I personally, I'm an investor in a solar installation at a school, 150 kilowatts, and in winter the output is basically non-existent. Sometimes you have snow cover, you have zero, the system shuts down completely. So the combination is a good thing. I mean, it all depends on what climate zone you're in. Again, output of wind goes up exponentially. If you're on islands with great sustained winds, you get a better payback on wind. If you're in a desert with little winds, you don't even think about installing one of our products. You would go solar.
Could you explain to a layperson why the design of this wind power device is different and better than a traditional wind power device?
Sure, it's the classical horizontal versus vertical axis. It's almost like diesel versus other combustion engines. There's a bit of a philosophy, and it's very opinionated kind of tribal type of beliefs in it. But vertical axes take a lower footprint. They don't have to turn into the wind. You can space them closer to each other if you want to deploy multiple. And they also they don't have the same high tip speeds like a propeller, so they don't make the same amount of squeegee noises when it gets loud and windy, and so they're aesthetically a little more. They're not as intrusive, basically. They're not as intimidating as a propeller. And we've found. I mean, the demand was created in Japan, where people were explicitly looking for aesthetic products that fit in. And on-site power production, it's something where people are around all day long, whereas the big wind turbines, the big propellers, they're out in the middle of nowhere where people don't care too much about it.
And yours don't cause cancer, right?
Exactly.
Just following up on Peter's question, so what percent, it's sort of a median situation, not the Caribbean, not a desert, but the median situation. What percent of your energy would you be able to, provide for your versus a traditional and versus solar, and what percent cost would you see of those two?
So of course, I mean, on-site power production, the cost, the generation cost per kilowatt hour doesn't have the same economies of scale like a multi-megawatt wind turbine. So our cost per kilowatt hour produced is of course higher. Now again, with solar, we're competing, because solar is also an on-site generation product. So it depends on the climate zone, depends on the wind conditions. We could be better than solar. We could be less competitive than solar, but some people just don't have the space for enough solar. So the combination of both is the solution for that problem. And with solar alone, you would need a lot of storage to basically become grid independent, to have a microgrid that can take you completely offline if necessary. For example, in Puerto Rico after the hurricane, the wind turbines were still operational, most of them, but the grid was down. So some remote areas didn't have power for a year because they had to reestablish the grid. With on-site wind turbines, you could reestablish communal power almost instantaneously. So those are the type of target markets where you need remote power, you need off-grid capabilities, sometimes in conjunction with solar, sometimes competing against solar. But we're not really in the same business as large wind turbines. Large wind turbines, again, they cannot run in off-grid mode. They have to feed into large-scale utility grids, and so that's a very different business, a different planning cycle. They sell basically to investors that sell the power through power purchase agreements to utilities. We sell to businesses and individuals like more of a consumer product.
Got it.
Thank
Olga,
you.
do you know if Chapter 7 Solutions is back online?
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to reach Michael.
No problem.
Michael,
No
are you here?
Okay, then that concludes the presentations from the 4 finalists and the Q&A. And now I would ask the judges to send me their selection for the winner of the competition. The winner of the competition receives free access to CPGo, which is our capital raising app. I think every man, woman, and child on the planet is using it, but just in case you're not, it's an app that allows companies to find the perfect investor for their company. So the company goes on the app, which is web-based at cpgoapp.com, and they populate their criteria, their industry, the size of their capital raise, the stage of the company, their geography, equity versus debt. And the app goes through our entire platform of investors, which consists of hundreds of thousands of investors, and selects the investors that are a good match for that company. And then the company, through the app, can directly contact the investors and start a dialogue and hopefully have a successful capital raise. So we're pretty excited about the app. We think that it's really revolutionized investment banking and capital raising. And we're happy to provide that free of charge to the winner of the competition. And the judges have started to send me their selections. I'm waiting for 2 more. Incredibly, I think I've gotten 10 emails from other people during this 1-minute period, which probably explains why my life is so chaotic. Okay, we just need 1 more. I will not out the tardy judge, since it could be a technological. There we go. Okay, again, the competitors were well represented. I've yet to see a landslide selection. But the winner of Capital 8 is Chava Wind. And congratulations.
Wow.
Congratulations. Woo!
Thank you. Thank you.
Great.
Appreciate it.
You did it.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
Chava Wind, please feel free to contact me or anyone else at Castle Placement so that we can discuss granting the prize to you. To all of the competitors, I would say absolutely amazing job. And I know that you'll all have success with building your companies. And to the people who participated in the call, I hope that it was informative and entertaining, and that you will come join us for future capital competitions and future startup startup club events. And to the judges, a heartfelt thank you. Really, really appreciate it. And I'm sure I'll be talking to you all soon. Olga, is there anything else that you wanted to mention, or should I wrap it up?
Yes, well, of course, I wanted to say thank you to yourself, Richard, and to Castle Placement for helping us put it together. We're really thrilled to continue our collaboration in the future, and I thank you on behalf of the Startup Club for this event.
Great. So to the old and the young, thank you very much, and have a great rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Richard.
Thanks.
Bye.
Take care,
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.